Hello and welcome to Raven's Arcana. I am Raven and this is your pick a card reading, and we have three choices for you. So we have the first card also represented by Adventurine, the second card also represented by Sodalite, and the third card represented by Amethyst. So make your choice for your pile based on the crystal and or the card, and we will get into readings based on your choices. All right, pile number one, welcome. So you chose based on this oracle card, which is labeled home with the figure with the heart around it. So you chose based on that and or the Adventurine, which represents the heart chakra. And so we will get into your reading. I hope you are doing well and see what you need to focus on. Now this card, the home card in this oracle deck, is referencing the need to get back home, meaning loving yourself, focusing on your heart, your compassion, your love for yourself. And let's get into the reading and take a peek inside. So we have the Nine of Swords. And that Nine of Swords is typically feeling left out. Could be a really stressful situation mentally. You have angst, anxiety. Now, in this card, you're on the inside looking out. You're looking at the world and you see snow, you see cold, you see winter time. It looks like you are warm, however. But this could have to do with the way that you see society right now. It is cold, it is lonely for you to be out there. There's not a lot of growth. You might be separating yourself from society based on your perception. And we follow that statement up with the Hermit. So the Hermit would signify either you are in the midst of introspection, self-analyzation, or there is a need to work on yourself, to try to balance that heart chakra, to get back to that loving, compassionate self and being kind to yourself. And if we're also looking at the Nine of Swords, we see it's dark and dreary outside, cold, no leaves on the trees, but you're wearing what appears to be a green cloak with a hood on it. You're wanting to have fruition. You're wanting to have fertility and growth. And you're wanting to connect with others. The Three of Chalices. This is celebration. This is celebrating amongst friends, amongst loved ones, amongst your people, your soul tribe. And if we're looking at the cloaks, it gets a little greener, it gets a little darker. That color. And there's more fertility, there's more growth. And I think in situations where you're able to be around your friends, your family, your soul tribe, your group of peeps, you feel fulfilled. You feel like there is growth. And I think you're having trouble being alone with your thoughts. I think you're having trouble actually working on yourself. But if you do the work, if you have that introspection, that self-analyzation, and continue to try to grow internally, then your relationships with others will be more fruitful. We follow the Three of Cups with the Eight of Pentacles. And that has changed. That is making your mark in the world. Look at you hanging the lanterns in the image of this Eight of Pentacles representation. You're hanging lanterns in the darkness. And you still have your cloak on. These are interesting cards, and I love the imagery and the way it fits into this story. And I think this might be a signal that you want to be yourself. You want to let your light shine. But you're out at night doing this, under the cloak of darkness. Let's get some clarification underneath each of these cards. So underneath the Nine of Swords, that stress, that anxiety, we have the Knight of Swords. And this is someone that just takes charge. Really quick movement. And I think this is telling you that even though it looks like you don't want to be out there. And now that I'm thinking about this, this might be, as you're on the inside looking out, this might be your perception of yourself. It feels cold inside. It feels like there's no growth. But you have to have movement. And the Knight of Swords is telling you to have that communication internally. Do it quick. The Knight of Swords moves very fast. And while it is with the Suit of Swords, you have to go down the path very quickly. I really think this is looking inside of yourself, and that's what you see, which makes me sad, honestly. But you have to work on yourself first before you can be that person. Make your mark, right? You have to put forth the effort internally before you can put out really good vibes, good energy to attract people that you want to be around, to celebrate, to communicate with. And the Six of Wands is victory. You will be victorious. You just have to take the plunge. The plunge into yourself. Do that introspection, and you will be successful. And look at the cloak now. It's red. That is power. That is authority over yourself. And ultimately, love. And if we're speaking of the heart chakra, that's amazing energy. Underneath the Two of Chalices, which once again is going to be that communication, that celebration with others, with friends, with family members, with your gang, your soul tribe, right? This is the relationship with yourself. This Two of Cups, Two of Chalices, is the balancing of your divine feminine energy and your divine masculine energy, your intuition and your instinct, your power and your energy, along with your nurturing and caring and compassionate self. Figuring out what feeds your soul, right? The divine feminine is that sensual, sometimes sexual, but pleasure. And the divine masculine is very instinctual and primal, your basic needs. And that's why I said we need to balance these out. I think there is an imbalance inside of you. I think you're just doing kind of what you need to get by, but not concentrating on everything that's going on internally. And we have the Seven of Wands. And this might be, you know, 7 is a faith number, but the Seven of Wands, look at the figure here, defending with the dog, with the children. You were in defensive mode. And I think this is you not wanting to go inside. This is you under the cloak of darkness, wanting to shine your light, but needing to do some introspection to balance out and get back to loving yourself. So when you look inside, and in this representation, let's say you look out that window, you see sunshine, you see green grass and flowers. Realize that you're magic. And be kind to yourself. And we'll pull one more card here. Yes, so the Queen of Wands. The passion that you have inside of you for life needs to be rekindled. I think you have been looking externally, possibly to friends, to other people, and even to relationships, maybe romantic, to light that spark inside of you. But as the queens are always influential, only you can decide how you feel. Only you can decide what you think about yourself. Only you can decide to do a little work. Look at yourself in a different light and realize you're worth it. Come back home, meaning have that loving, nurturing, compassionate self inside of you and realize that. And I think that will really help balance out your heart chakra, definitely. And you can engage with others again as your true, loving, authentic self. And remember the Knight of Swords. Charge on. This is a fight for you. This is a fight for what you are about, what you want to be, who you want to be. And I know you want to come from a place of love. All right, pile number one, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you hanging out. And take care of yourself. And have an amazing day. All right, welcome, pile number two. So you chose based on the Oracle card that is endless opportunities and or the sodalite, which is going to represent your third eye chakra, so intuition. And I hope you all hanging in there, doing well, making it happen. And we will get into your reading and see what you need to focus on. And let us begin. All right. So the Queen of Cups. One is very intuitive, so the need to tap into your intuition, to trust your gut, if you will, to search for those opportunities. The Queen of Cups is very loving, very compassionate. And I'm wondering where this is going. So the Eight of Wands follows the Queen of Cups. And this is typically fast, movement. So something is coming in quickly that you need to pay attention to, that you need to pick up on your radar. A big opportunity, I think, is heading your way. And with the wands, you got to take action. You got to embrace the opportunity that is coming for you. We have the Empress, and I think this is going to be something that really fills your heart. The Empress is the divine feminine energy of the major arcana, right? And so one, very intuitive. So this is kind of doubling down on loving, compassionate pleasure. I think this will give you great pleasure if you use your intuition. It's going to fill your cup with joy and love if you see what's coming and if you take action on it as well. And I think in the past, you've had a lot of missed opportunities. And I think this has put you in a state of sadness. You haven't been able to realize what's in front of you and take advantage of it. And I think you've focused on that and kind of dwelled in that place of sadness, depression, possibly a feeling of despair, that you haven't taken advantage of your chances. And let's get some clarification on each and every one of these cards. Now we have the Eight of Cups. And it's underneath the Queen of Cups. And I think you have almost walked away from the thought that you will actually get another opportunity, or that you will figure out what's right in front of you so you can accept it, so you can embrace it. And it's easier for you. And I don't think these are failures. I just think that you feel like you're kind of stuck in a rut. And you almost don't want to be emotionally involved anymore. You don't want to let yourself put energy into it. So you end up in the situation with the Five of Cups. So you're depressed, you're sad. It's almost easier for you now just to keep your head down and continue to do what you're doing, rather than be hopeful and try to trust your intuition when something comes into your universe that is an amazing opportunity for you that you can take advantage of. And underneath the Eight of Wands, where those opportunities come in, we have the King of Swords. Now, the King of Swords is a master of analytics, of logic, of reason, of communication. And once again, this is telling you to pay attention. If you're not in the game, emotionally, if you're not emotionally involved in something, then you're not going to be mentally engaged as well. You're not going to be able to analyze the situations. Use your logic, wisdom, reason, along with your intuition, to realize what's going on. Once again, I think you just kind of keep your head down and go with the flow. But I think you are someone that is very loving and kind and nurturing and wants something to fill them, their desires, their needs. Let's get under that Empress. And we have the Hierophant underneath the Empress. So your traditional ways of thinking are inside the box. You are not looking for things, one, that present themselves to you because you're doing the same thing over and over again. I think you're waiting for something to come to you, to present itself to you. But you have these expectations that it's just really going to blow your socks off, and you'll see it. And I think there's subtle hints that have come into the picture that you are not picking up on. And whatever's going on here is going to be something that is bigger than you imagined. So when we're talking about the Hierophant, especially underneath the Empress, as clarification, this is something, and we talk about outside the box, and sometimes I reference coloring outside the lines. This is going to be an opportunity for you that you can't even imagine would even be presented to you, that you could even take advantage of. How could you be so lucky comes to mind. But it takes strength. We have the Strength card. It takes courage. It takes perseverance to move past the sadness, the depression, those past events that left you here, that made you kind of walk away from things. And I'm wondering if this is a relationship. There's a lot of love. There's a lot of energy popping up that seems like it is very sensual, possibly sexual. When I mention the divine feminine of the Empress, I mean, that is everything that is beauty, love, sensuality. Let's go a little bit deeper on this. Yeah, I think with the Moon card, you're getting pulled in multiple directions. You know, the Moon card has the wolf and the dog, so it has that instinctual, just primal feeling. And it also has that domestic feeling. Balancing out those needs, those urges, those desires. And this could possibly be a relationship that you want to solidify where it's a solid union. And it doesn't have to be marriage. But I think you're looking for a companion that is really loving and caring and balances you out. We have Justice. We have a crap ton of major arcana cards. This is big picture stuff. And this has to do with other people, the external, and possibly what's been going on. I think you're a very loving, sensual, sexual person, but you haven't found anyone that really completes or checks off all the boxes for you. And I think with the Hierophant, you've been looking in the wrong places, honestly. And with the Strength card, that Leo energy, you shine bright. You shine really bright. And you need someone else to balance that light out with. And if we're talking about justice, with the scales, I mean, that is balance. That is other people that you can communicate with. You're looking for justice and love, I think. I'm going to pull a few more cards on this one. Let's actually do a quick little shuffle and pull at least 3 or 4 more cards, because I really think this is relationship. And we're talking about endless opportunities, intuition, trusting yourself to make the right decision. And pay attention. All right, so let's do this. So we have the King of Swords on top of the King of Swords. So I think that you are very loving, compassionate, sensual, sexual. Love the home. Love being home. Love taking care of people. But we kind of doubled up on that King of Swords. And I think you're looking for someone, when we talk about balance, that is on your level intellectually. I think you're highly intelligent, and you have trouble finding people that are on that level with you, that can have conversations with you. They can analyze the world. They can come up with their own thoughts, their ideas, reason their way through almost anything. And you have the 7 of Wands. You're up there by yourself. And maybe the endless opportunities is that, referencing the Oracle card, is that there's a lot of people you're attracted to. There's a lot of people that you can have a whole lot of fun with. And you fight them off with a stick. But once again, they're just not on the level with you. And this happens. You're not going to marry everybody. You're not going to move in with everybody, have sex with everybody that you meet, that you like, that you dig, that you're attracted to. And it's not going to be a fulfilling relationship every time. But there's someone out there in your life, or that's about to come into your life with the 4 of Cups. And I think there's someone in your life right now that you're not paying attention to. You're not noticing that they are a good fit for you. They might be just a really close friend. And you don't realize that it could be magical on that one. I think it probably already is magical on an intellectual level. But on a romantic level, you're not reading the room. You're not picking up the signs. You're not listening to your intuition. Let's pull two more. The Two of Wands. The world in your hand as you're looking across the sea, having that vision of exactly what you want, knowing exactly what you're going to do when you find it. But sometimes we get what we need instead of going back to the Hierophant, all these traditional thoughts of what we think we need, and it's actually what we want. And we have Strength come up once again. So be brave. Take a chance. Possibly do the unexpected. Be more intuitive, more perceptive of what's going on around you. And I think you will find that there's someone out there that you know that will be on the same level as you and will love you for who you are and feed into that Empress. And this doesn't mean you're a woman because we reference the Empress. We all love pleasure. We all love sensuality, sexuality, that loving feeling, that compassion, wanting to build a home or a family, however far you take it, right? But yeah, start paying attention. I think there's someone out there that that you know, that you haven't really thought about in a romantic way, but they are actually the fit for you. All right, pile number 2. Thanks for sticking around. I really appreciate it. And yeah, open up that third eye. Start being more perceptive to what presents itself to you. Look for the hints, look for the clues, and take care of yourself. Hello and welcome, pile number 3. So you all chose based on the Oracle card, which is Transformation, and or the Amethyst, which is representing the crown chakra. So consciousness, connection to spirit, the collective. But we're going to get into your reading and see what this change, this transformation is all about. And I hope all of you are hanging in there and doing well. And let's see where this takes us. So we have the Hermit, which would make sense if you were looking to make a change or needing to change. This is talking about introspection, doing some self-discovery, self-rediscovery, really working on yourself, development. And we have the 7 of Cups. I think you're in a state right now where you feel like there's too many directions you're being pulled in. And it's becoming overwhelming to you emotionally. Too many things happening in your life, not enough focus. And once again, that need to really take a break from all of this. I mean, this seems like chaos to me. In this instance, that's what it feels like. And needing to do some work on yourself to figure out what you want, right? To figure out how to address all the stuff that's going on in your life right now. And I think a lot of the things that are happening for you right now are very emotional. There might be, with the 5 of Cups, there's sadness, there's loss, there's grief in there. And you might have had an event recently that's affecting you that feels like you're being pulled in all different directions and not really knowing which way to go, right? But if you're looking for the path, you know, we have the moon. We have the, the wolf and the dog. We have instinct and intuition. But the moon can also be an illusion. And I think you're worried that the path you choose, based on previous events or an event that happened, they kind of put you in this state where you just kind of don't have any grounding, don't know what to do at this moment. You're worried that if you choose to address certain things or go down a certain path, it's not going to work out the way you want it to. You're worried about it being an illusion. And we have the devil underneath the hermit. You know, I think you're worried you can't get out of this. I think you're worried you're bound to the choices that either you have made or you're afraid that you might make, that might be very destructive. And if we're talking about transformation, I think this event that occurred that puts you into a state of grief, depression, and sadness, I think while you're trying to figure out what's going on and how to get back on that, I'm going to say straight and narrow, you've gone down a path of self-destruction, which really signifies the need to do some inner work and make changes. We're talking about transformation. And we're talking about the crown chakra and opening that up, balancing that in your connection to spirit, in your spirit, what animates you, right? We're not talking about religion, although, if that's, what you need, by all means do it. But we're talking about really your being here. I think you're in danger of going down a path that is going to be very difficult to recover from. Absolutely. So we have the Tower. And I think if you continue on the current path of self-destruction, then that tower will come down. Now, there will definitely be some transformation with that, but it's not going to be what you want. And whatever happened, that event or series of events with the Five of Cups, we have the Three of Swords under that, which is, it's heartbreaking. It really cuts you deep. I think this has to do with someone very close to you. Someone you really care about. Let's see. And you need to get back with the Six of Cups. You need to figure out what makes you happy. I think you've lost that in the midst of sadness and depression. And that Six of Cups, getting back to what fills you with joy, with happiness, what feeds your soul, will help you make the changes necessary to avoid an illusion or a delusional path and balance out your instinct and your intuition. And that only comes from doing some inner work. Let's get a few more cards for clarification. And that Seven of Swords, with you not knowing kind of what to do right now, with the Seven of Cups, all these choices that you have to make. I think you're creating more adversity for yourself. You are deceiving yourself if you think what you're doing right now is going to be any kind of answer for success in the future for you. And when I talk about success, I mean being on a good path, moving past, processing whatever events occurred that were heartbreaking, that have made you depressed. And the Three of Pentacles would signify you need to reach out to someone. You know, this is collaboration. This is working with others. And by working with others, I mean bringing someone else in to have a conversation, opening up to them, letting them know what you're going through. Not necessarily, you don't have to be completely honest and tell them what you're doing. I mean, if you're deep into drugs and alcohol or whatever you're doing, but you need to talk about the event that happened. You need to bring someone else in. You need to work through it with someone else. I don't think you can do this on your own. Even though, you know, you have to do some inner work, I think you need to talk this out with someone else. And we end the reading with the Knight of Wands. So that's getting back and making movement on finding your passion for life again. And that's only going to come from introspection, self-analysis, doing some hard work, talking with at least one other person, unloading this off of your chest, telling them what you're going through so you don't continue to make bad choices and participate in destructive behavior, so the tower doesn't come down on top of you. Getting back to things that make you happy, that bring joy into your life. And that's the change you need to make. And opening up, you know, with the amethyst and the crown chakra, sometimes we need to have, you know, I brought up the word religion, and I'm not religious, but maybe it came through because having faith, right? Opening up to spirit for guidance. Having faith in yourself that you can move past this. But bringing someone else in, at least unloading some of this stuff, this baggage you're carrying around, off of your chest. But you're going to be okay. Just take care of yourself. Don't be afraid to talk to other people. But stop going down this path of self-destruction. Do what makes you happy. Find it. It's still in you. And, yeah. Take care of yourself. Lean on others if you need to. And try to have an amazing day. All right?